mission of the Mississippi Valley Conservancy is conserving native and working landscapes that enrich our communities through private voluntary action for the health and well-being of current and future generations. And it's really an awesome opportunity, an awesome feeling to be involved in voluntary permanent land conservation, to be able to work with private landowners to ensure that the best parts of our landscape are protected for the benefit of people today and for countless generations in the future. At Mississippi Valley Conservancy, we have the opportunity to work on some of the most incredible land conservation projects. I mean, we have globally imperiled natural communities like oak savanna and our threatened bluff prairies here in the upper Mississippi River Valley. Some really rare things like algific talus slopes, which is kind of like an ecosystem frozen in time. And we've got just incredible scenic beauty, great biodiversity. In the upper Mississippi, this is an amazing flyway for migratory birds, and just so many incredible natural resources. I look up at the bluffs and see these beautiful scenic vistas, and have the opportunity to have an impact on what these areas are going to look like, hopefully 100, 200 years from now. I mean, it's really awe-inspiring to be able to be involved in an organization that has that opportunity and has those legal tools to carry out permanent land conservation. And we work with so many wonderful landowners. I mean, just one example, we had the opportunity and the privilege to work with Ben Logan, the author of the book The Land Remembers, to conserve his farm. He wanted to make sure that the subject of his book stayed a farm forever, and that people could come back generations from now and visit seldom seen farm and see that it still is a farm. And so we had the chance to work with Ben and to help him carry out his dreams for his land. And that's a very special feeling when you work with a landowner. You see how happy they are, the enjoyment they get from their land, and the satisfaction that they get from knowing that there's going to be someone else looking out for their land and taking care of it, protecting it, after they're no longer here to do that. And so the work of nonprofit land trusts is so important to protecting our landscape. A lot of people don't realize that there's a huge network of about 1,700 land trusts around the country, and that through the collective efforts of these nonprofit groups working in their own communities, that more land has been conserved than is in our national park system. So it's really remarkable what can happen when people come together and work toward the common goal of protecting the best parts of the landscape. I was really drawn to the work of land trusts because I thought it was such a great model of doing conservation in a voluntary way, private parties making decisions about protecting their land and not relying on regulatory approaches. Land trusts provide such a wonderful model for conservation. People working voluntarily and cooperatively to conserve the best parts of our landscape. And so it's just it's a great system that people are able to exercise their private property rights to protect their land, not just today but for countless future generations. And it's so important. We have so many great natural assets that need protection and need to be conserved. And so when land trusts work with landowners and provide the tools that landowners need to ensure that their dreams and wishes for their land are carried out. It's very gratifying to work with landowners and to help them conserve their land and to carry out their dreams for their land so their kids and grandkids can come back and enjoy their property just as they do today. And it's all the result of this wonderful model of voluntary land conservation.